Hello, everybody. Lovely to see you today. I've got an assembly. We are obviously celebrating Black History Month, and I know you're going to be doing some work in classes next week. And I've got an assembly today about somebody who had a big impact on me growing up. Anyway, you will find out who that is in a moment. I'll be quiet. See you at the end. Bye. So today I'm going to do our second assembly about Black History Month, where we celebrate the lives and achievements of black people. Last week we looked at the African-American painter Jacob Lawrence, and today we're going to look at somebody closer to home who wasn't born in the UK but has made their home here and has changed the life of lots of people. So my first question for you today is, what do you think this person does for a job now? And the person I'm talking about is the little boy in the pictures. Have a think, and I'll get back to you in a moment. So the little boy in the picture is now a head teacher, and that person is me. So in the first picture you can see me with my younger sister, who's called Laura, and that was just after she came home, after she was born. And in the other picture I'm sat with my granddad, who was called Charles, and he's reading me a book. Okay, now, why have I chosen to start with me? Well, the reason I've chosen to start with me is because this person that we're talking about today has had a real impact on my life. When I was younger, there was a programme on television called Play School, and that was for young children, so children up to the age of about 6 or 7, and it was on quite regularly. And one of the people who presented it was a lady called Floella Benjamin. Now, I grew up in South Wales, in a town called Swansea, and in Swansea, when I grew up, there weren't very many black people. So Floella Benjamin was the first black person that I really got to know and saw regularly. Here she is today. She was born in 1949, and she's had a massive impact on children's television. She starred in children's television, but as she got older, she went on to make children's television, and she still does today. And she is incredibly famous and incredibly successful. She's so successful that she's actually in the House of Lords. So she gets to make decisions about how the country is run, and she's been chosen to do that because of the amazing work that she's done in children's television, and as a result, helping children. As I said earlier, she wasn't born in this country, but we are going to find out through a story that she's written about her early life and how she came to come to England. So the book I'm sharing with you today is called Coming to England, and it's by Floella Benjamin, and it's illustrated by Diane Ewan. And it says it's an inspiring true story celebrating the Windrush generation. So when you open the book, you see these amazing, beautifully coloured end papers of what the vegetation or what the plant life is like on the island where she grew up. If you look carefully, you might be able to spot some creatures hiding amongst the undergrowth. Coming to England by Floella Benjamin, illustrated by Diane Ewan. And there we are, you can see her sat on her suitcases outside some very English looking front doors. My name is Floella. I lived on the beautiful island of Trinidad with my mommy, Daddy and my brothers and sisters. One day at breakfast, Daddy saw an advert in the newspaper. "We've been invited to go to England," he said. Daddy had always wanted to be a jazz musician in England, so he packed his saxophone and his suitcase and set off. We didn't want Daddy to leave Trinidad, but the house still felt happy with my 2 sisters, 3 brothers, Marmee and me. Every day at school, before lessons started, all the children sang "God Save the Queen." We learnt that Trinidad was part of the British Empire. We learnt about England, far away, on the other side of the world. We imagined Daddy there, playing his saxophone, wearing a coat to keep warm. I dreamt of meeting the Queen. Every day we went to the market to buy mangoes, breadfruit and sweet potatoes. The months went past. In the hot season, we had to move very slowly. Then, when the wet season came, we would dance outside under the huge, warm raindrops. A year after Daddy left, Marmee packed her bags and went to join him in England. She took my littlest sister, Cynthia, and brother Junior with her. Sandra and I had to stay behind with our wicked auntie and wait for Marmee's letters. One day, a letter arrived from Marmee. It said we were finally going to England. We jumped for joy. Even better, our brothers Lester and Ellington were coming as well. Now it was our turn to pack. We didn't have any warm clothes, but we packed our prettiest dresses. It took 15 days to sail to England. We saw flying fish and seagulls. The ship was like a floating skyscraper, but our cabin was tiny. We got into all sorts of mischief on the boat with no parents around. We even helped in the kitchen. The closer we got to England, the colder it became. We thought about our lessons on British history at school. What would England be like? It will be a giant iceberg, said Lester. Don't be silly, said Sandra. It won't be that cold. On the day we arrived in Southampton, we did agree on one thing. We all put on our best clothes in case we were going to meet the Queen. We didn't see the Queen at the dock, but Marmee was there, waving up at us. I thought she looked like an angel. She gave me the biggest hug and a blue knitted cardigan to keep me warm. Let's go home, she said. We found ourselves in a land of fast underground trains and moving staircases. But London didn't feel very welcoming, and the people weren't very kind. We all lived in one room, so we missed our lovely big house in Trinidad. But we were a family again. Our new home might not be what we had expected, but we would work hard and life would be better. I was excited to start a new school, but our classmates had never seen black children before. They called us names. They don't ask us to play with them, I told Marmee. But after a while, we became friends. At first, coming to England was not as nice as I thought it would be. But little by little we settled in and it felt like home. I still dreamt of meeting the Queen. And one day, when I was all grown up, I did. And that's the end of the story. Lovely end papers again, aren't they beautiful? Can you spot those creatures? Fantastic. So, that's Floella Benjamin's experience turned into a picture book. She's also written a longer book, which is called Coming to England Again, and it's a great book. It's an autobiography. It's longer than this, and it goes into more detail about her experiences of living in Trinidad, but also of her experiences of moving to England and what it was like when she arrived here, and the difficulties that she faced being black in Britain, and how racist the country was. Well, I hope you enjoyed the story. It's a great book, lovely illustrations. And Floella Benjamin is somebody who has had a really big impact on me, and she's also had a massive impact on children's television programmes and the way that they're made and what the content is of them. And she's also been in lots of programmes. Your mums and dads will definitely know who she is, and you might recognise her voice because her voice does appear in other television programmes. So she does voiceovers for Chuggington and programmes like that. So hopefully you've learned something. So Floella Benjamin, definitely a great Briton. So next week there'll be another film, another Black History film celebrating somebody who's significant from the history of Britain and is black. And Mr. Stack will be sharing a book with you written by a black author, and I will be doing the same next week. So that's it from me today, and I will see you soon. Take lots of care. See you around the school and on the playground. Bye.